Are you concerned that your hard work won't leave a lasting impact? What if you could create a legacy that endures and influences future generations? Do you even have a goal or dream that big? That is something that we're going to talk about as we conclude our 10 by 10 by 10, our 10 lessons in 10 days in around 10 minutes, where we highlight lessons learned from some of my favorite Olympic athletes and the lessons that we can learn from them as we become the Olympians of our industries and in our lives. One thing that I want to talk about that was new, I kind of talked about it in one of the lessons, was the repechage. And I said it was French for a second chance. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because, a lot of times we hear that you don't get a second chance in life. But during these Olympic Games, we've learned that you can get second and third chances, but really second chance for you to even qualify to get another chance at the medal. And a lot of people have gone into the repechage, in several events, and they have solidified themselves in history as becoming Olympic medalists. And then some of them, even if they didn't win a medal, I think for you to be an official like Olympian, I think you have to get into a final. I think that's how it is. But either way, because they were given that opportunity, they were able to create a legacy. And we keep seeing that over and over. Some of the gold medalists or even medalists, bronze medalists, they didn't do so well when it was their opportunity, but they got a second chance and they knocked it out of the park. And I gave one of those lessons, from Freddie Critton, the hurdler who strategically used the repechage. But there are some people who didn't have that mindset to be that strategic. And they were like, well, they saw their dreams slipping away, but that second chance allowed them to go forth and conquer. So, these are the times where a coach definitely helps, a coach, mentor, or strategist that helps you get into those areas. When you get into those situations and you find yourself like, okay, is it over? But they assist you into helping you define and figure out what you are pursuing every single day that will leave a meaningful legacy. And I think for a lot of us who have reached certain levels of our career, we've had or areas in our lives or in your business, you've had this long-term vision, and once you hit it, you kind of coast it a little bit if you're being honest. But when you have something now you want to build legacy and you see these mega people, whatever however you define mega, and whether that's business, financially, family, status, whatever, they are looking at generations beyond. And sometimes we think about legacy is having money, but if you look at our Olympic athletes, their legacy goes on just with the title. There were so many, oh, that's something else. There were so many new younger athletes whose parents were in the stands with them who were Olympic athletes. So you talk about legacy. There was one, I think it was a discus throw, where he broke his father's world record. And so that was a legacy that I'm pretty sure he talked to his son about. And if this guy chooses to have children, and he'll be able to talk to his son or daughter to build that legacy, and then they get to choose. But what a great, that's where you talk about building a legacy. So it wasn't just money, it was an experience, it was a title. So what is something that you can dream beyond yourself, that you can leave a legacy for your community, for your, now I want to even go beyond just family legacy, but it may start with the family legacy, but have something beyond that. And I think having a coach or mentor or strategist can help you really define those things and then how you make them meaningful every day. Because if you're talking about leaving a family legacy, that it could be too big and overwhelming. But how do we break that down to make sure that everything we do is legacy worthy? Another thing that I keep saying, and you've seen this through line throughout this entire series, was having a strategic plan in place with a coach or a mentor to ensure long-term impact. Very, very big in the financial space, where I'm learning from a coach up leveling a certain skill set and how to look at money strategically for long-term impact inside of your business. Something like I never thought about. I was like, no, let me just get clients and build from there, save some money. I was a good saver at money, but truly letting your money grow and setting up your business in a way that it can create lasting impact without me doing any like extra work. But I wouldn't have known those things had I not had a coach or a mentor, with that. And then another part is understanding how to navigate going through those challenges, because building a legacy is not a walk in the park. You know, if you've accomplished something major in your life, you know that it's not a walk in the park. And it probably wasn't even legacy, building. It was just like, I just want to accomplish this goal. And it turned out to be monumental, but you didn't think it was that big, but you still had challenges. So can you imagine now that you are intentionally thinking way bigger than you've ever thought before? There are challenges you probably can't even anticipate, and you don't even if you've done everything I said in those lessons before, getting yourself prepared, still having a coach or mentor who can guide you through. Even if they don't tell you the exact thing to do, they can help you think through those processes, because that's the beautiful thing about coaching when it's done effectively, is that there is no cookie cutter way. A coach's role is to draw out the best solutions possible within you. You have to see the answers, but they know how to ask you the right questions, put you in situations, allow you to think differently, so that when situations come up, they can help you think through and help you to see yourself and remind you of how great you truly are. So when you do that, the first thing you need to do, and we get into these action steps, is to define your legacy goals with some guidance. I know that I've had goals and I just stick them up on the wall and I go through the whole process. You can go watch some of my other video series where I walk through the goal setting process. Like, there is a thing, but when you're talking about legacy building, there's a different approach and a different perspective that you have to take when you start planning out those goals. So you want to make sure that you define them. They have to be aligned with you. They have to come from the inside out. You can't say that I want to build $100 million company because this particular person that I see, because I started that at first. I'm just being transparent. Vision Lakiani, Mind Valley, $100 million company, and I was like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to have a company just like that. And then I would find myself, and every time I would look at it, I would just fall out and get overwhelmed. But I had to sit with myself and do some things to really get back aligned with it. And you know what? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When I sat with that and really sought God and Holy Spirit, it was even bigger than just having $100 million company. And that is more and it's gonna sound weird, but that doesn't scare me as much as it did with $100 million company. Now, it is still like, I don't have no idea how I'm gonna do that, but there's a peace within it because I believe that that's what I'm aligned to do. That fits me. And it could have gone the other way. It could have been just a $10 million company. It could have been just $1 million a year company. It could have, we're not going under that. But you know what I'm saying? It doesn't always have to be the grand thing, but it has to be aligned with you. And then you have to have a plan for that. And then you have to have a plan for ongoing support. I hear a lot of mega millionaires or multimillionaires and billionaires say this, that when I made my first 100,000, I felt like, it was the most impossible thing. And then once I did that, going to a million was easy. When I made a million, it seemed like, okay, I can do 2 million, I can do 3 million, but it was so hard to get to that 10 million. There are different increments. So they've had to readjust at every level. So why don't we think, even in our individual lives, that we don't have to adjust and create different support systems as we continue to elevate? Because literally, what got you here will not get you there. And that's with every area of our lives. And we've seen that with our Olympic athletes. Whatever got them to the Olympics, they had to change up when they got around other mega stars or mega athletes, right? When you're in certain coaching programs or masterminds, or when you're in your job, or if you're going, on a retreat with other business owners, you want to be at those high levels because, one, you get to hear things differently. And then two, you get to be around people who are thinking at a higher game, and you can get ongoing support for them because they've been there, done that, or you can learn from their mistakes. But if you don't know that, if you don't set yourself up to go bigger, then you're not going to put yourself in environments to where you can get that ongoing support. All right. Let me know down below if that makes sense to you. And then you want to make sure that you engage in regular legacy focused coaching sessions to make sure you stay on track. These are not the typical coaching sessions of what's up for you today, or did you do your homework, or things like that. When you go for big goals, sometimes it's not weekly, as we discussed in our other video. Sometimes it is, a few months out, maybe it's every quarter that you're checking in, because you are playing at such a big game that it's going to take you a little while to hit some of your targets, things like that. But you still want to make sure that you are always legacy focused and not, and I don't want to make you don't want to be overwhelmed because you've already taken that legacy and brought and chunked it down to pieces. You heard in the previous lesson where some of these athletes have had 6-year plans, and that's beyond the to the Olympics and beyond, right? Those are the kind of plans that you want to have in place. But although I'm pretty sure when they get up every day to train or when they meet with their coach, it's not, to the Olympics and beyond. It's in the background, but they're looking at, what do I need to hit today? What do I need to hit in this week, this month, this quarter, this year, so forth and so on. So you want to make sure that you do that to always stay on track. A lot of us, I believe, we have these goals, we have these plans, we have these accountability groups and partners, but what we're not doing is having one, checking the progress ourselves and going back and reflecting, tweaking, nor are we having expert guidance who can help us along the way. So it's more than just gaining new knowledge and gaining new skills. Those are important, but you also have to execute and make sure that you're executing in the frame of mind of, make sure that you are leaving a powerful legacy behind. I don't know about you, but I want my great great grandchildren to know my name, even if I never get to see them being born, however the Lord decides to do that. But I want somebody beyond just my current family members to know my name, or just my friends to know my name. My mom was able to do that, not on as large of a scale as she wanted to. And then you'll see what I'm talking about if you stay to the end and watch the video about the 3R virtual expo that is coming up. Even though she didn't get to live out the goals that she wanted to live out, there are people still to this day, and she has passed now at the time of this lesson, 12 years, going up on 13 years, and people are still, talking about lessons that they learned from her and being in her presence. If they see me or if they see something that I post online, they still share things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so amazing. And I want to be able to have that kind of impact and beyond. So if she did that, not operating at full capacity, I was like, well, what can I do when I operate at full capacity? And that's what I want you to think about. What can you do? How are you impacting lives? What can people say about you 10, 20, 30 years later, about some of the work that you've produced where you've had a great impact? So those are the things that you want to make sure that you are creating um, enduring impact in your field, in your industry. I believe everyone has a way to contribute something to wherever they are. You get to be the Olympic athlete of your industry, so it's time to show up and show out for that. All right, so wherever you are in life, and if you have some setbacks, knockdowns, all of those things, be encouraged by the repechage, from the Olympic Games, that you do get a second chance, but you get to tailor and your second chance and approach it in a different way. But it's what you're going to do with that second chance. Are you going to be strategic? Are you going to tweak your game plan? Or are you just going to, just show up like you've always done and just keep putting yourself in that repechage? Because that's another thing. You can just keep showing up in the same place, even if you get a second chance. So you don't want to waste those opportunities. All right. So thank you all so much for listening and learning with me on this journey. Make sure you look at the information down below, and I will see you at the 3R Virtual Expo. If not, I will see you at our upcoming events. Until next time, remember, you are the Olympian of your industry. That's all for now.
Are you making your dash dazzle? You know, that gap between your birthday and your sunset? If not, you're doing a huge disservice to your community, to yourself, and to your family. Hi, I'm Vernita Glenn White, and I want to welcome you to the Virtual Expo, from resume to reinvention to remarkable. This isn't just an event, it is a movement to bankrupt the burial plots. Now, you may be thinking, well, that sounds a bit morbid, or what is that, and how is that even possible? Well, keep listening. I've curated a special group of experts, and together we're going to show you the benefits and importance of being able to shift from an employee mindset to an entrepreneurial way of thinking with ease. Now, your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations are way too big to be contained in a box of your current situation or trapped in the mind. And my guests have figured out the secrets to what it means to truly get out of your own way while you're still living on this planet. They are ready to reveal these secrets to you so you can turn those possibilities into reality and make your dash dazzle. So what inspired me to take on this huge task? Well, before I was born, I learned that my grandfather had an opportunity to purchase some land and before it turned into a major tourist attraction. He also wanted to start his own barbecue venture. Then later on, my mother had a vision to become a major Christian author and speaker for women and young adults who wanted to understand the Bible in a practical way. But unfortunately, in 2012, both my grandfather and my mother passed away 3 weeks apart, and all those ideas and dreams went into the graveyard with them. Now, every time I visit the site, I see new plots, and I can't help but wonder what inventions, communities, or businesses will never get to experience because maybe that person thought they had more time, maybe they didn't have the courage to get started, or they lacked the persistence to keep going. Or perhaps they got too comfortable with the success they already had and didn't go for more. We'll never know their reasons, but right now you have a choice, and I don't want you to live with any regrets. So I'm launching this movement to help you step into more courage, persistence, and ways to think bigger. As a former mathematics teacher and college professor, I understand your need for a plan and wanting the step-by-step to get the right answer. So consider this virtual experience as a series of secret formulas only for the people who are ready to embrace their brilliance, explore new possibilities, and expand their minds for bigger goals, and finally achieve the results that will leave an impact on this planet. I felt myself heading this way. Even with all my degrees and accolades, I knew I was hiding behind comfortable success, and the tug to do more was getting harder and harder to ignore. So if that sounds like you, or you want that to be you, in the box next to or underneath this video, there's a place to insert your name, email, and phone number to get access now. When you click Get Access Now, I'll send you an email right away with all the details for this curated virtual expo. Now imagine this, the expo is over and you let out a sigh of relief because you finally heard that one thing that clears some of the messiness in your mind that has been blocking you from the money or the manifestation you needed to catapult you into being the solution to hundreds, thousands, or even millions of people. That's the feeling of being remarkable, and you deserve that to feel like that every single day. Be sure to enter your name, email, and number so I can give you something extra special before the virtual expo begins. It's time to make your dash dazzle, and I'll see you on the other side.